Hello everyone, this is Derek Smith from Persuasion.com, and today I'd like to talk to you about storytelling and using it as pure emotional persuasion. Now, I'm a big guy. I've been in the martial arts for about 35 years. I'm 250 pounds, love to lift weights, love to work out, but I have to admit something. I've cried at movies sometimes. I'm comfortable with saying that, and I'm not ashamed in the least. Why is that? That's because movies are stories. And stories have been used to elicit emotions either by design or accident since the beginning of time, since the beginning of man. Some of the most fantastic stories are tremendously moving. This emotion can be manifested as a feel-good or a tearjerker. It can be uplifting or depressing, revolutionary, or merely entertaining. The most important thing to keep uppermost in your mind as you think about stories is that they're an opening, a hole, so to speak, that you can fill with a message, your message. Now, stories tailored for business and sales need to consider the emotional state of mind that they will put your prospect or client into. In persuasion, we're really simply using story to control these emotional states. The value of stories is in the state in which it puts your audience. When I tell stories, I want to both make a point and put my prospect into a profound emotional state, carry them away, so to speak, and open them up to accepting my message. Now, ideally, we should have an arsenal of compelling, persuasive, powerful stories that are ready for any given situation. Think about respect, for example. For our affluent and perhaps elderly clientele, the idea of respect is sometimes an incredibly important and motivating factor as to whether or not they want to do business with you. With my daughters, I do my level best to instill a sense of respect as they deal with their elders. I reinforce this point with them when I watch them interact with people. I was with my daughters the other day at their martial arts lesson. And in front of my daughters, I addressed their sensei. I said, "Sensei, I wanted to tell you that at the last belt level advancement test I was at with my daughters, I was really impressed. There was a man there that must have been in his 70s. And this sensei smiled broadly and he said, yes, he's about 73. And I said, he was up for the test to advance his rank. When it came time for his sparring, his sensei jumped up to spar with him. I noticed that the older man was having to think before reacting. He would see something coming, he would stand there for a brief second, and then he would react. It was clear that his faculties weren't as sharp as his body, and his body wasn't as quick. But yet, it almost brought tears to my eyes to see this man walking into the ring, walking into the mat, and doing his level best. Moreover, it impressed me that this sensei made him look so good. He respected him enough to make him look that good. And I realized that this wasn't about outperforming the man. It was about respecting the man's human spirit. My daughter's sensei just beamed and he responded, "That's absolutely correct. You've got it right on all fronts." Now, I know this because I was a martial arts instructor myself, and that's how I would treat my students. Now, what preceded this is a 2-paragraph story on respect that most likely has elicited an emotional response. I, in telling you that story, wanted to illustrate to my children the importance of showing respect for our elders, just in the same way the sensei showed respect to his elder. Now, the story worked, and my daughters understood profoundly. The story also touches me profoundly, as I have a great affection for both the sensei and the older man in the ring. Now, with emotional storytelling, I like to constantly and consistently maneuver the emotions of the listener, and once I've opened them up emotionally, I can implant anything I want into them. What is a story like this about respect going to show you? Well, it's going to show that I have respect for my elders, that I find value in the concept of respect itself. What might you believe as a result of hearing this story? You might think that I am highly respectful and then you want to do business with me. Now, this sets the frame, and within that frame, we can leverage knowledge so that somebody like our listener has an undiscovered hero in you or in me. Now, think about this. What are some of your stories that might elicit deep emotional responses, and how can you incorporate them into your persuasive repertoire? Again, this is Derek Smith from Persuasion.com, and I hope you come back and visit me and learn even more about persuasion and negotiation in some of my other videos. Thank you very much.